Football is in America. I don't care if you call it football or soccer. The FIFA Club World Cup has lived up to the hype, and we've got another day of some world-class football or soccer that's already kicked off. So let's head out to Seattle and talk all things Club World Cup with Mayra Gomez, the host and voice of Lumen Field for the Club World Cup. Mayra, thanks for hopping on with us. How you feeling? How's the
Hey, man.
voice holding up?
The voice is holding up. The weather has been great in Seattle. We've had a lot of sunshine. Unfortunately, it looks like tomorrow we might have a little bit of rain, but it has been spectacular. The teams, the players, the atmosphere that Seattle
Yep.
has when it comes to football, soccer, as you mentioned it.
Yep.
And funny enough, just yesterday when we were playing the game against Atletico de Madrid and the Seattle Seahawks, somebody mentioned that we are 365 days from the U.S. national team
Hmm.
playing here in Lumen Field. So it's really exciting just to know, we're living the Club World Cup and we're only a year away from that big World Cup that we're also excited about as well.
And that countdown has already started in a lot of us football or soccer fans here on the East Coast. I know we've had rain delays here as well, so the weather has been a little bit of a problem. But you've caught all that action out there at Lumen Field. We've had some great football being played across all the venues here in the States. How would you describe the action of the FIFA Club World Cup so far?
It has been incredible, obviously, Botafogo beating PSG, the
Yeah.
current champion of Europe. You have a lot of these South American fans jumping onto the board, celebrating and congratulating Botafogo, who we actually had at Lumen Field a few days ago, playing against the Seattle Seahawks. I personally thought Seattle was a little bit more dominant, and so then to go see Botafogo defeat PSG, this is what this Club World Cup does, right? It brings these teams from all over the world to compete against each other. And then you get to give these fans a special touches opportunity to play against the champion of Europe, which every club is trying to defeat. And now it has happened. That was probably the biggest upset we've seen thus far. The excitement has been present. We had Uyurawa, which is a team from Japan, coming in, and that was exciting. Lionel Messi, Inter de Miami, they love to talk, they love to make history. They became the most historic club when they brought in Lionel Messi to the MLS, and now they're the first MLS team to win a game in the World Cup. It has just been fascinating to watch everyone come together through football, through soccer, all the fans from around the world travel within the United States, visit all these different venues. It's been exciting.
You mentioned the Seattle Sounders. You mentioned Messi and Inter Milan. LAFC played my Chelsea team and lost. It was hard to root for an MLS team when my Blues are on the pitch. Let's go and let's continue to talk about Messi and his greatness. This dude showed the entire world again what Messi magic was all about. So barring some sort of soccer voodoo black magic, they're going to move on to the knockout rounds. When you have the best player in the world, you always have a shot. But do you think Inter Miami really has a chance to make some real noise in this tournament?
Absolutely. We talked about it, right? Botafogo beating PSG, beating the current European champion. Things like that happen. When it comes down to soccer, it's really 11 against 11 on the pitch. Messi has demonstrated day in and day out that he's able to bring in that magic. That when the team needs him, he's able to execute. He's able to put the ball in the net. And that's exactly what he did this past game. Inter de Miami is moving on, and they absolutely have a chance because it's not just him, right? You have Busquets, you have Luis Suarez. You have very important players that have competed internationally, players that have competed in the previous World Cup, and now here they are competing in a Club World Cup. They understand the importance of putting the ball in the net in those final minutes when it's important and executing within the pitch when it's necessary. So they absolutely have an opportunity and a real chance of being in the final.
And that's what makes this Club World Cup so exciting. I feel like there's at least 10 teams that can go on a run and maybe pull it off and win this tournament. So who's your favorite to win it?
Ooh, I don't think I have a favorite quite yet. I haven't had an opportunity to see every single match. I
Right.
will tell you that I am excited for that final in New York. It's going to be spectacular. The excitement. I've been able to watch from behind, as you mentioned before. I've been in Seattle watching the teams here. And I mean, just watching the fan base, watching the excitement. And what I can tell you is when that final comes, there's going to be a lot of fireworks. There's going to be a huge show put on by everyone, that the stadium voice is going to be spectacular. And it's just going to be an amazing experience. Fiorentino has already spoken about how great it is to be in the United States, how the ambience is different, how the stadiums are just top level, how great we are at hosting these type of events, and I'm sure that final is just going to be as exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime we can get grass on MetLife Stadium, you can sign Jets and Giants fans up for that any day. But when you talk about the vibes, I had a chance to the club team Tunis, they shut down Times Square, and I was out there with their entire fan base, jumping around, singing the chants. I bet they were like looking at me like who is this dude? Like, why is he dressed up in work clothes while we're jumping around and having a great time? But that's just how this atmosphere has been like, not only here in New York City, but like you said, in Seattle, down in Orlando, down in Atlanta. So what are your storylines going forward that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, you want to be able to keep an eye on Boca Junior, right? Boca, as you mentioned, the fans have been very present. They're always there. They're cheering on. They shut down what I thought was a shutdown of the beaches in Miami. They're just celebrating, enjoying. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of storylines around fan bases, but also within the club. We mentioned it earlier, right? Inter de Miami. How far can they go? How much can Leo Messi put this team in the front pages? PSG, they just lost to Botafogo. They're the champions of Europe. They currently need to turn things around. We had Atletico de Madrid, after losing to PSG, win yesterday against Seattle. That's going to be another thing. How far is Atletico de Madrid going to do? And then there's been a storyline after yesterday's win with Botafogo against PSG, is which team is going to be stronger? Which teams are going to be stronger, whether it's South American teams or European teams? And that's another story to keep untouched, because it's always been seen, especially in Latin America, that the strongest teams are in Europe. And you've got players growing up saying, my dream is to go play in Europe, is to be part of these teams, it's to be part of Chelsea, it's to be a part of PSG. And now you've got these South American teams saying, hey, we're just as strong. We can be stronger. And so I think that's a big headline. What teams from what continent are going to take it further ahead in this tournament?
All right, Maya, thanks for hopping on with this. Are you coming out to New York for the semifinals and finals?
I don't think so. I think I'm done. I'm done after the group stage here in Seattle, but I am hoping to be out there and potentially at least be a part of the game, enjoy the atmosphere, because I'm sure it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
It's been fun. These fans, they take fandom to another level, and it's absolutely amazing. So I do hope to be out there, Brandon.
Well, if you do, we definitely have to get you in studio, and then maybe you can get me credentialed. I can be your camera guy or something. Like,
there you go. You can be my assistant.
There you
You're
go.
gonna have to join the line though of all the assistants.
I know. This World Cup, this Club World Cup has been anything and everything it's been advertised as. But Mayra, thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And again, I want everyone to tune in, watch, enjoy this cup, because we're hoping that we have it back in 4 years. Again, the rumor has already started.